Hi folks, Doug Jones here from Danley Sound Labs. We're really excited about the release of our new Direct 2.0. There are so many new features and improvements, it's hard to know where to start, but I guess we're going to start with the change that's most apparent when you launch Direct. So download 2.0 and follow along with me. Now you'll notice that the frequency response window looks a little different and the scale in the map window is also different. Well, this is because we've changed the way that Direct displays the coverage map and the response graph. Now I know this might take some adjustment, but it really is a much better system. Now, there won't be any confusion about what the actual sound pressure level is. To read absolute sound pressure levels, you simply place a microphone anywhere you want in the model and turn on the probe. Let's take a look at how this works. First, let's just set out an audience and a speaker. Let's use, the SH96 and raise the speaker 20 feet and aim it down 25 degrees. Alright, if you turn on your map with the auto button, you see the pattern is formed. The default, of course, is 2 octaves at 1K. If you go up to 10K, you see that the pattern changes a little bit. We can improve the look of this display by turning on the stepped function. So go up to the config menu and choose color scale and choose step display. I like to set it to 6 dB. We can now clearly see the pattern of the horn and where the 6 dB line is. Now, if we want to know the SPL at some point in this map, we simply place a mic there. Here's a new way to do that. With the mouse in the map window, simply hit the P key. This is a new shortcut that enters the select point mode. Now click the mouse where you want to place the mic and hit the letter M. A mic will be placed at the point selected. You can go all over your map, clicking and hitting M, and you'll place as many mics as you wish. This is one of the new features of 2.0. You can also place speakers this way. Click on a point, hit the Enter key, and it'll place a loudspeaker wherever you want. So remember, it's M for mic, Enter for a speaker. Once you've turned on a mic, you'll see in the frequency response window, a response curve is there just like before. But there's no indications of SPL, just plus and minus dB. Alright, now, to see the actual sound pressure level, click Escape to exit the point mode. And again, with the mouse in the map window, simply type the letter R. You'll see a flag appear at each microphone showing the dBz reading at that position. If you want to know dBA, go to Config, Probes, and select Weighting A. Pretty nifty, huh? Alright, before we leave this section, I just want to point something out that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to just reset everything back to 0 and have my SH96 here on the ground. When we turn on a microphone, you'll notice that it goes to 32.8 feet. Now, why 32.8 feet, you might ask? Well, 32.8 feet is 10 meters. The sound pressure level you measure at 10 meters will be exactly 20 dB lower than the peak reading indicated on our spec sheet. Alright, let's move on. Here's another cool feature, our new SketchUp plugin. So let's switch over to SketchUp for a moment and I'll show you how this works. This is a church that one of our customers sent in and kindly let us use in this video. You can see it's a nice detailed solid model with textures and colors. Now, in the past, Direct could only import the wireframe. It would look like this. Now, with Direct 2.0, you can import the whole thing. The one thing you have to remember when you do this is make sure the roof is removed so you can see down into the model. In this SketchUp model, the roof is already gone, but we can still see the rafters, so we know pretty accurately where we can hang speakers. So I'm going to use our new plugin to export this model. This may take some time as it's a large file. Just like the previous version, the plugin creates a .danley skp file. This is the file that you'll bring into Direct. Alright, once that's done, let's go back to Direct and import this file. I select Import SketchUp and look for the .danley skp file I just created. Now, it may take a few moments to bring this large file in, but eventually it will show up on the map screen. Here's something that I like to do. Before I start laying out my audiences and speakers, I like to reorient the drawing so that I can use symmetry if I need to later on. Remember, in Direct, we use the red or the x-axis as the main longitudinal axis down the center of the room. So, I want to make my red axis go down the center of this church. I can use the wireframe editor to do this. First, to speed things up, I'm going to turn off the faces and the face colors. This will make the program act much more quickly. In fact, it's probably recommended you go ahead and leave all this turned off until you're finished with your system layout. Then you can turn it back on to show the client or to capture images for the report. So first, I rotate the model using the Rotate tool, setting it up so that the red axis is down the middle of the room. Then, I move it so that the datum is exactly where I want it. Now I can go and place my audiences just as before and choose the loudspeakers. When I'm done, I can turn back on the faces and textures to see my solid model again. I can also adjust the opacity of the solids to achieve the best look. We've also made some improvements to the way the camera works. This is the one feature, however, that's not implemented yet on the Mac. Sorry guys, we're going to get to it. So if you look up here under Preferences, you'll see that there's a new zoom mode. In the normal zoom mode, you're always zooming in and out of the center of the image. With the directional zoom, you can click on the image and zoom into that portion of it. Alright, here's a couple of other new features I want to show you. The first one is a feature that's going to save you a lot of time if you're doing stadiums and big arenas. If you lay out your arena so that the XYZ axis is right down the middle of the room, like we encourage you to do, that's all fine and good until you have to put speakers in what we would think of as the corners. These speakers are difficult to locate with the traditional XYZ controls. Let's take a look. Here's the stadium we just completed, and I want to move these speakers here in the corner. Now, with the XYZ controls, I can only move them along the XYZ coordinates. But with this new control, which we call Fine Speaker Movement, we can move the speaker relative to its own position very easily. I'll show you how this is done. You can zoom in on the speaker by using the Locate key. And once you've determined which speaker it is, you simply move it, and there you have it. We've added another new feature that includes links to our website and to our training videos and to other resources you might need while you're working on design. It's up here at the top of the menu called Links. Finally, I just want to draw your attention to the other new shortcuts listed here for you under the Config menu. Well, I hope you'll enjoy the new features in Direct 2.0. As always, if you have questions, I'm here to help. Thanks for choosing Danley and for using Direct. Until next time, I'm Doug Jones.